Hello, everybody, and hi there. Welcome. Lovely to see you. Apologies, I was rushing to get here on time. I just needed to get my water, but now I'm ready to go. Lovely to see you here. I hope you're well. Welcome to today's live session. Today's live session. I can't speak properly. Today's live session is all about improving your answers for IELTS speaking. If you are preparing for IELTS speaking, this is the session for you. I'm going to show you different aspects of how to improve your language, how to use different aspects of English, some of which you may have forgotten. I'm going to remind you, I'm going to show you. It's all about improving your answers today. Let's begin with a little bit of this.
Step right in, this live session's calling. We've got resources and ideas for you. Find inspiration while we're learning. Keith Speaking Academy's here to see you through. It's time to learn, it's time to grow.
Slow, easy start to the session.
English flow.
Great, lovely to see you guys here. We've got Priam is here. Vlogs for Fun, hello, all the way from Nepal again. Lovely to see you. Hi guys, hello Nora. Hello Marjo. I got your email. I hope that's sorted out now. Just enjoy. Beautiful. From Georgia. Hi York. Christina, hello. Lovely to see you again. Ulrich, Normanov, great to see you here. Great, we've got lots of people here. Roblox is here as well. Lovely to see you. Slobodonka, lovely to see you as well. Guys, welcome all of you. It's great to see you all here. We're going to talk about improving your answers. Let me just explain today's session, what we will do and what we will see. Like this. It's about 1 hour. I'm going to begin with a question for you. I want to know which is the most difficult. That's my first question in a moment. After that, I just want to show you a place where you can develop your speaking skills. And then today, the real meat of the sandwich, or if you're a vegetarian, the real lettuce of the sandwich today is connections, descriptions, and grammar pyramids. What do I mean by connections? It's how you connect your speech and your language. Descriptions, making your answers, your English more interesting and engaging. And grammar pyramids, well, I'll explain that later. Finally, I want to talk about improving quickly and forever. Not just for today, not just for IELTS, but forever. Lifetime learning. And Q&A if you do have any questions. If you get questions as we're going along, of course, feel free to, ask as we go along. It'd be lovely to learn more about you and learn more about the challenges you're facing so that I can help you. Excellent. Good. So let's begin, first of all, with that question, which is the most difficult? I'd like to know which is the most difficult for you. Is it IELTS Speaking Part 1, Part 2, or Part 3? Let me know in the chat what you think. Atiko, thank you so much for following me for 2 years. Wow. Ahmed, first time joining. Lovely to see you here. Annie as well, first time, lovely. John, lovely to see you here as well. Let's see, we've got part 3, part 2 and 3. Roblox, you're so funny. Part 3, part 2. Yes, Betty. That's got me curious. What is Mittel's eye? Interesting. Ibrahim, lovely to see you here again. Zoe as well. Familiar faces, guys from the Gold Course. Great to see you here. Interesting. It's interesting nobody says part 1. That's good news in a way. Part 2 and 3. Yeah. Abdi Fatah, good point. Part 2, most difficult because you're talking more time. It's true. It's the longest time you must speak, like 2 minutes. Wow. Right? Okay. Very, very interesting. So it seems, from what you're saying, it seems like both part 2 and part 3 are definitely most difficult. Okay, well, I'm going to address today both part 2 and part 3, but also part 1, because I've already prepared it. So I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm going to do part 1 as well, but we'll do a big focus on part 2 and part 3, and I think you'll find all of this useful for you. Okay, as we begin, or before we begin, where to develop your speaking skills. Some of you may not know me from my website. You probably know me from YouTube, English Speaking Success, but I do have a website. It's the keithspeakingacademy.com, where you can get information about IELTS, live lessons, there's tips, there's courses, there's even a free course on there. Very briefly, let me introduce you to the website. Here it is, Keith Speaking Academy. First page just talks about, you know, how the courses work generally. But if you want to find out free live lessons, oh, by the way, if you're into IELTS and you haven't downloaded this, then do. There's a free PDF. It's about the 10 most common mistakes in IELTS speaking. So do check that out. There are free live lessons. You can get the PDF and the video to these. There's a huge list of live lessons. For example, the environment. There's a lot about cities, climate change. Just press the button. You'll get to the lesson. They've each got a PDF. They've each got a video. And there's the lesson you can follow here online as well. There's an interesting thing with my live lessons. My live lessons are very long. There's lots of them on the website. They're about 2 hours. But if you want a short 15-minute pronunciation file, I also have that. On the live lesson page, whenever you go down to the bottom, you'll find Vocabulary Vault. And these are the short pronunciation files from my best live lessons. There's about 20 of them, and you can just press to join that today. And it just explains here what you can get inside. Pronunciation files, there's quizzes, there's storybooks, and you can join there to get that. Just to let you know. The website also has tips on IELTS speaking. If you want to find out about the format, everything you need is here. There's videos, there's tips, there's information, there's more videos about part 1, part 2 and part 3. There's a blog full of interesting ideas up here, and there's online courses. The Gold Course is my main course. Now it's broken into three different parts. There's the exam strategy part, the self-study part if you want to study on your own, and the interactive if you want to interact with other people. You can get all 3 in the full package, which is the best deal, actually, the best value for money. You get access to all of them. Exam strategy and tips, the self-study course, both of those are for life. And then you get 1 year in the interactive course. And you can join just by pressing here. If you want a free course, down here, there is the Crack IELTS Speaking Part 1 free course. You can go and join today. That's it. A lightning fast tour of my website, the Keith Speaking Academy. If you don't know it, right? keithspeakingacademy.com. You can go and check it out today. Okay. Sanjar Buck, Oh, it's all gone small. Why has it gone small? Let me bring this up here. I think a lot of people find the financial problems is there. That's why there's all the free resources. There's the free course, the crack course. If you're able to get another course, then fine. If not, I mean, it's absolutely fine. I'm just so happy to be here and be able to help you here with the lessons. Roblox are live lessons in the gold course. Live lessons in the gold course are twice a month on the second Thursday and the third Thursday. We just do 2 live lessons a month, but each one is 2 hours long. Great. So let's turn around. We've got a few questions coming up. I'm having problems in part 3 where mostly I can't organize my answer. Right, February the 13th, coming soon. So today, I think you'll get some ideas to help you with that. We also did the other day, on Wednesday, a live session on exam technique. It's still on YouTube. You can go and check that out on the English Speaking Success. Look for the live sessions. There's one there that might help you as well. Rania, first time. Great, welcome. Lovely to see you. So let's move on. Improving your answers with connections, descriptions, and grammar pyramids. Okay, actually, the best way to improve your answer, right, honestly, is to improve your overall speaking skills. That's the simple way, but there's lots of things you can do as well. I'm wondering, right, do you find when you speak that you're always using the same words? I was chatting the other day to a student and said, I'm practicing a lot. I'm in the breakout rooms. My fluency is getting better, but I feel like I'm just saying the same thing again and again, the same vocabulary again and again. And I said, well, right, that sometimes happens. That happens to me because I practice Spanish a lot here in Spain. But, you know, when I speak to friends, I always say the same thing. I go to the shops, I always say the same thing. Part of the problem is I forget the huge range of language there is that we can use. I just use the simple stuff I use every day. And I need to remind myself of lots of different things I can do with the language. And the same for you guys. I want today to remind you about lots of aspects of the language you may have forgotten. You need to remember and to study and then practice. And that's why I believe the best way to improve your speaking is study and practice. If you study, you get lots of vocabulary, but you can't use it. If you practice, you can get your fluency really good. But if you put them together, you build your vocabulary and you can use it. I say vocabulary, grammar, everything. So study and practice, put them together, right? Study and practice. The goal of today's session is therefore to remind you of all these aspects that can help you improve your spoken English and improve your answers. Those aspects are connections, descriptions, and grammar pyramids. 3 things I'm going to look at, okay? Good. Roblox says, oof, grammar is a pain in the neck. Not after today. After today, you will love grammar, especially if you've been to Egypt and you know the grammar pyramids. Nina, thank you so much for that. Your course is truly gold. Pleased to hear that. That's lovely. Good. Okay, let's have a look. First of all then, connectors. I'm going to begin with connectors. And let's make this very practical. Using spoken connectors can really improve your answers. It improves your vocabulary. It improves your fluency. I mean, big time. Now, connectors, make sure you're using spoken connectors. You want to be careful not to use very formal connectors. So the most common spoken connectors are and, but, so. And every day we say and, but, so. That's good. But there's more. Just be careful not to use like therefore, nevertheless, which is a bit formal. Use more spoken connectors like this, right? Especially when you're talking about yourself. For example, in part 1, you're asked, do you watch any sports on TV? And you can say, right, to be honest, I don't like sport. To be honest, I don't like sport. Personally, I'm not a big fan of sport, right? Referring to you because you're talking about you. Great. Personally, I'm not a big fan of sport. The way I see it, right, which means basically in my opinion, the way I see it, watching football on TV is a waste of time. Okay? So, you've got different connectors. These are just some simple examples, but there are more that you can use. So let's see. I mean, maybe you guys can add some others and we can add them to the list. Let's see. Any other connectors, spoken connectors you might add? Lucia, very good comment. Yes. Study only, but we don't speak. You need both study and practice. Hey, we've got some Egyptians. Lovely. Nice to see you. Then, yes. In my humble opinion, yeah. In my humble opinion is nice. Very good. Camilla, nice comment. Agreed. So I'm going to add here, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, which is nice as well. In the right context, very, very nice. Actually, yeah, great, Christina. Actually. Not really. Yeah, not really. As for me, yep. You want to be careful that just be aware that some of these depend on the context, right? For example, as for me is often used when we're contrasting with another person. I might say, my brother loves football. As for me, I hate it, right? So there's often used in a contrast. So just be aware of that. When it comes to sports, yes, actually, when it comes to sports. Very nice. On the other hand, however, yeah, frankly speaking, also nice, yep. Frankly speaking, no. Frankly speaking, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, for me as well. As for me, or just for me, yeah. For me. It depends on the context. I'm going to put as far as I'm concerned, yeah. As far as I'm concerned. Yeah, nice. There are plenty of variations. Hossein says, to be totally frank, good. Hamido, in my perspective, not really. That may be a translation from your own language. Not really. No. In my eyes, yes. In my eyes, I would say. In my eyes. Great. In my opinion, to my mind, yeah. In my case, lovely. However, that said, lovely. Great. Okay. Any others? There's quite a few others. Indeed, one of my favorite words, Albert. Indeed. All in all, kind of summing up. Yeah, lovely. Excellent. There's a lot. So we've got quite a few here that we can add. So connectors, right? Spoken connectors, really, really useful. They can help you improve fluency and vocabulary and communication skills. In addition, in part 2, you can use connectors with stories, especially if you're describing an event, right? You often get these questions. Describe a time you were delayed by a traffic problem. Describe a time you missed a flight. Describe a time somebody used their phone in a public place. Describe a time you got lost. Okay? Connectors are great. You can use things like first of all, secondly, after that, in the end, because you're telling like a story of what happened that time. Okay? So there's a lot of connectors you can use here that really help structure the story and boost your communication. You can make it very, very simple like this, or you can add more interesting ones. Let me test you. Let me put you to the test. I want you to watch a very short answer. It's a part 2 answer for this question, right? The question, describe a time you got lost. Which of these do I use, right? I'll put down the numbers like 4, then you can just answer 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which of these do I use? Listen carefully and let's see, okay? Here we go. Let me put it up. Ready? Here we go. So this happened about 2 or 3 years ago. I was trekking with a friend in the mountains in another country, and we had decided not to get a guide to help us. We just went on our own. And to start off with, it was fine. I mean, first of all, we followed the path up into the mountains, and that was fine. But slowly, bit by bit, the path started to disappear. And we basically, the map didn't make sense and we were lost. We checked our phones and they didn't work. And you know, after that, we got really nervous. We carried on walking for maybe another 20 minutes or so. But luckily, in the end, we bumped into another trekker who knew the area really, really well. And they helped us find our way back to the correct path. And yeah, in the end, it worked out really fine. Right. So, yes, which of those? Which ones did I use? Just write down in the chat what you think. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of you got 3 and 4. LBO, good to see you here. Great. Gustav as well. 3 and 4. Cisavar, 1, 3, and 4. Okay. Twice used 4. Yeah, very well spotted, Nora. You're on the ball. Nice. Yeah, excellent. Good. The ones I used, first of all, after that, in the end, okay? I'm going to play it again, and I'll just put subtitles on. But as you listen to it, I want you to notice how the connectors help you follow me, right? Notice how the connectors help you follow the story and improve my communication, okay? Just notice that. Watch one more time. So this happened about 2 or 3 years ago. I was trekking with a friend in the mountains, in another country, and we had decided not to get a guide to help us. We just went on our own. And to start off with, it was fine. I mean, first of all, we followed the path up into the mountains, and that was fine. But slowly, bit by bit, the path started to disappear. And we basically, the map didn't make sense, and we were lost. We checked our phones, and they didn't work. And you know, after that, we got really nervous. We carried on walking for maybe another 20 minutes or so. But luckily, in the end, we bumped into another trekker who knew the area really, really well, and they helped us find our way back to the correct path. And yeah, in the end, it worked out really fine. So can you see how the connectors can help you just follow the story, and you get a feeling of, right, oh, that's next. After that, more coming. In the end, okay, he's going to finish now. And in the end, I really finished. I repeated in the end. That's fine. You don't always have to change. Sometimes you can repeat it. It's fine. It's accurate, so it's fine. I could say at the end of the day as well. There's other things I could say. Okay. So nice. Those are some simple connectors for describing things. Other ones that you have up there to start off, for starters, again, it depends on the context, which ones you use. The context will decide which is the best one, right? You can't use all of them in any context. They're not synonymous, although they're similar, right? Roblox you had to start off with, yep. I think all of them can be used. It's like telling a story about myself. Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. It's exactly telling a story about myself. And that is the way to think about part 2. Part 2 is a story about you, often. Not always, but often. It's a really good way of thinking about it. Yeah. Sarina says, yes, it's very useful. It made the statement beautiful. Well, beautiful, interesting. Okay. Yep, helps you follow the story. Okay, great. Alex, hello. Nice to see you. They give a nice flow. Sarah, it is... Oh, Sarah, teacher. Good. I think it is a good practice to do that. It is... it helps you organize ideas and helps the listener follow you, right? I'll just put in the other one. At the end of the day is another possible one there. But as I said, it does depend on the context. The best way to learn these is to notice them. Listen to stories and notice how people use these connectors. Moving on. Well, I'm looking for my jingle. I've lost my jingle. Never mind. Let's move on. So I'm still on connectors, right? Signposts. We're still talking about connectors. Connectors. We've done part 1, connectors, part 2, connectors. What about signposts? These are a kind of connector, right? Signposts, when referring to the bullet points. You know, in IELTS part 2, you might get a question like this, right? Describe a friend you admire. You should say bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3. Now, these can really help you structure your answer. But what you don't want to do is to say, oh, a friend I admire is my brother. Who it is? It's my brother. Where are they from? Oh, they're from Manchester. What do they do? Oh, he's a football player, right? Don't just repeat the bullet points. That's not good. You can use signposts, which is a kind of connector, to lead into this topic. You can say, talking about who he is, turning to the next part, turning to where he is from. As for what he does, well, he's a footballer, right? So it would look like this. Let me actually write it out for you. Talking about So I'm going to describe a friend. It's my brother. Talking about who it is, well, it's my brother. It's actually my brother, right? So just notice how this works, right? Talking about who it is, turning to where he is from. He's from Manchester. Like me, obviously. Don't say that to the examiner. Duh. Turning to where he's from. As for what he does, he's actually a footballer. Okay. So again, these are simple connectors or signposts that give fluency and coherence to your answer. You don't have to use them. There are others you can use, but this is an option, right? To use, or you could use one in the story or two just to help you guide the examiner. It's like you're saying to the examiner, listen, I'm going this way. Come with me, right? Listen, talking about who this person is, come with me. It's my brother. As for where he's from, come with me, right? We're going over here. I'm going to talk about where he's from. You're pulling the examiner with you. Examiners love that. They don't have to think. It helps them do their job, right? You're just making it really easy for them to follow you, right? You can even pull them by the arm. Joking. Don't do that. But signposts here, another idea, right? For part 2. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, Alex, keep calm, don't panic. I think that's the thing. Zarina's on the ball. Keep calm, don't panic, right? You got 15 days. Work on your exam technique, because in 15 days, you probably won't improve your English. So focus on your exam technique. Go to my website. Check out the tips there. Talking about who he is. Great, great. Faisal, interesting. I'm thankful to you. You're an IELTS instructor. Always refer to your video. That's great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad it can help them as well. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 2. Using adverbs, right? So ways to improve your answers. We've talked about connectors. Let's talk about adverbs. In natural English, we use adverbs a lot. And this can boost your vocabulary score. Let me give you some simple examples. Adverbs before an adjective. Okay. You can say, well, it's good, or it's pretty good, it's quite good, it's rather good, it's fairly good. All of them meaning similarly, right? Not very, very, very good, but quite good. You know, it's okay. Pretty good. I'm quite good at cooking. This story's pretty good. This film's, fairly good. I like it, your food, it's fairly tasty. So you can use these and lots of others, but this kind of adverb before an adjective is a nice way just to build up, make it more interesting, right? More colourful. In addition, you can use them before extreme adjectives. Before extreme adjectives. Like totally, completely, right? So extreme adjectives are things like amazing, fantastic, brilliant. They're very extreme. They're not just good, they're extreme. Amazing, totally amazing. Oh, it was completely amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So amazing, wonderful, great, or the opposite, terrible, right? Disastrous. It was totally disastrous. My exam, it was terrible, totally disastrous, completely horrible, right? So these 3 simple ones you can use, like it's a totally brilliant film. Talk about a film that you've watched. Well, yes, I saw the Endgame, the Marvel film. It's a totally brilliant film. It just gives energy and colour to your language. So adverbs, a nice little extra you can do. Okay. Excellent. Good. That's it. Well, that's not it, but let's see what we've done. Okay, we've talked here about connections, connectors, and descriptions, adverbs and adjectives. Okay, I want to go on to talk about grammar and grammar pyramids. So let's have a look at these. Where are we? Here we are. Before I do that, just let me check in with you guys, how you're all doing. Gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. It was an absolutely gorgeous city. I was in Paris. It was a totally gorgeous city. Marjo, are they interchangeable? Totally, absolutely, completely? Not 100%. I would say 90%. There are some collocations that may not work. Totally, yeah, I can't think of any, but just be careful. They're not 100%. Completely crazy. Yeah, yes. Erdal, differences between quite, rather, fairly, pretty. In the meaning, it's the same meaning. So on a grade of very, very good and bad, kind of in the middle, quite. It's just in the middle. So for meaning, it's the same. For use or usage, again, they're not 100% synonymous. Some collocations work with quite, but not with rather or fairly. I can't think of any now, but just be careful that when using them, they're not 100% the same. The usage or collocation can be different, but by and large, they're very, 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 very similar. Highly is another one. Yes. Sarah, I love it. I'm a wonderful teacher, and I absolutely teach math in the best way. That's great. That is so colourful. I love it. It is totally boring. Great. Good. I hope you don't mean the lesson, but you mean it is totally boring. Great example. Again, very, very good. Yes. Squid Game was absolutely excellent film. Let me help you, Roblox. Yeah, it's really good. You've got it. I would say I would put your adverb and the adjective together. Squid Game was an absolutely excellent film. So put the adverb and adjective together. It sounds better for me. Totally thrilling. Yes. Alex, particularly. It's incredibly amazing. Nice. Yes. Right. Now, Sarah, I'm going to help you here because I've just said about putting the adverb and the adjective together. However, it was here. It was a quite exciting movie. It was a quite exciting movie. No, yes, you can say that. It was a quite exciting movie. It was a quite exciting movie. Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to change it. Forget that. I was going to give you an alternative, but let's leave it. Let's not confuse anybody, including me. Which is stronger? Very is stronger, for sure. He's definitely insane. Brilliant. Great. Great. Christine, very, very nice. I'm too embarrassed to share that. I'm totally exhausted. Brilliant. These are really good. Nadja, that's even better. It's an utterly amazing class. Utterly is lovely. Really, really good. Great example. Thank you for the promotion. Great. So let's move on. Grammar. Grammar pyramids. Okay. Now, grammar pyramids, I'm going to give you an example right here when talking about you. When you're talking about you, you can use the grammar pyramid. When you're talking about you, you may say, well, I live in blah, blah, blah. I work as a blah, blah, blah. I play football. I play this. I like this. I like that. With each of these situations talking about you, you can use the following sentences or tenses. You can say, right, well, I live in Spain. This is true for me. I've lived here for several years, and I moved here because I wanted to change my job. Okay. Now, what we're doing here is we're putting together some tenses that often go together. And this idea of the grammar pyramid is 1, 2, 3, 3 tenses that often go together. So instead of saying, I live in Spain, well, boring. I live in Spain. I have lived here for 5 years. I came here in 2018. Those tenses often go together, and it becomes this, right? It becomes it's the present plus the present perfect plus the past. So these three: present, I live in Spain; present perfect, I've lived here for several years; past, I moved here. And it's beautiful because you're giving the situation now, you're referring to the past and the present, and then you're giving extra information about the past, about why you moved here, for example, right? Why do I call it a pyramid? It's a grammar pyramid because if I do this, cha-cha, you have a pyramid, right? It's so simple. Hooray, well done. You've got a grammar pyramid. Now, don't Google grammar pyramids because I've just invented it. I've just made this up, right? This is a grammar pyramid. You can use it for any of these situations when you're talking about you. Here's another one. I work as a teacher, right? I began teaching 20 years ago, and I've been teaching online for about 4 years. Here, I've changed the order. I put present, past, present perfect. Changing the order, that's fine, but I get another pyramid. To be honest, it doesn't always look like a pyramid, but this is just to help you remember the idea, right? I work as a teacher. I began teaching 20 years ago. And, I've been teaching online for about 4 years. Much more interesting. I play football. It's not true, but, I could say that. Here we could say, well, yeah, I play football now and again. I used to play a lot as a kid. And, I've been playing in a local team recently. It's great. Again, it's a kind of pyramid. Not exactly, but kind of. I can make it. Hang on. Can I make it a pyramid? I've been playing in a local team recently. It's great. Oh, I can't make it a pyramid. Hang on. Yay, I got a pyramid. Oh no, it's not quite a pyramid. It's more like a sphinx. Never mind. I play football. I used to, past. I've been, present perfect continuous. Okay. So it's a combination of these tenses, and we often use them in these kind of orders, right? It's just developing your answer a little bit. Really good if you're talking about you. Part 1 or part 2. Rania, lovely to see you. Please understand my references to the pyramids and the Sphinx are for educational purposes. I'm not making any other reference to them, right? You have a beautiful country and absolutely amazing history. So I hope you're okay with me using them as a reference. Christine, there was a like san, right? Was that a san or a wang without the line? I work as an IT. I work as an IT technician, maybe. I love the idea of shaping a grammar pyramid. It's a simple way to help you remember, I think. But do notice, right? I mean, you can use this to talk about any people, right? Think about part 2. Describe a person you admire. Well, I'm going to talk about my brother. So my brother, right? Well, he lives in Manchester. He's lived there his whole life. He was born there. Present perfect, past. Those 3, that kind of 3 steps, if you like. In part 2. So that can be really useful. But remember, the shape is not always a shape, and the order, it can change order. I mean, here, just to be clear, I changed the order. You can change order as well. Good. Daniela says, I've been teaching math and science for donkey's years. Yeah, good. Yeah. So Daniela, you would say, well, I'm a teacher, right? I started teaching, I can't remember, you know. I mean, I've been teaching math and science for donkey's years. Present, past, present perfect. Angie, I'm interested in your course. I've seen 2 links in the description. Oh, on YouTube, they may be 2 different courses. Check them out. Check both of them out. Probably 2 different courses. The main course is the gold full course. Your pronunciation is right. Thank you. I hope so. Yes, for all of you math teachers out there, geometry and English grammar, good way to remember. The pyramid is helpful. Great. I play guitar. I'm playing piano. I would like to train painting. Right, interesting. Great. So Mohammed, you could say, I play guitar. I've played guitar for 5 years. I started when I was 20 years old, for example, right? I'm playing the piano, or I'm learning to play the piano now. I would like to train painting. Great. So you're using also different tenses, right? It's an interesting idea. Just one thing I would change is I'm playing piano means you're playing right now. But if you're speaking to me, I would say I'm learning to play the piano. Yeah. So I play guitar. I'm learning to play the piano. I would like to train in painting. Mohammed, this is a great segue because you're moving on to another set of 3 tenses, which you can also do. My example is about talking about you. That's example A. Mohammed has a different example. Let me go on to B, example B, which is here. Example B is talking about events. Okay. Talking about events. For example, a party, a wedding, an interview, a holiday, a time when you got lost, right? A time when you blah, blah, blah. So we could say, let's imagine I'm talking about a party, for example, a party. And I say, this happened about 3 years ago. I was working in a bank at that time. I remember I had been working really hard and was looking forward to a break. It's another pyramid or another sequence of 3. I'm using the past, past progressive, and past perfect. In this case, past perfect continuous. It's a very, very common pattern of tenses. I'm not just making this up. This is a common way of setting a scene. We use it a lot when you're setting a scene for something that happened, an event, a party, a graduation, an interview, right? And typically it's, well, this happened 2 years ago. At that time, I was studying at university. I was doing blah, blah, blah. So you're beginning, this happened at this point. At that time, I was doing blah, 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 blah. Before that point, I had been do. I had been working really hard, right? Or I had worked really hard. It's another way of doing it, right? So, in fact, this is interesting. I'm going to show you, do you remember the part 2 answer we watched earlier about getting lost? The guy, Keith, trekking. Do you remember that? I'm going to show you that again. And can you spot this pattern? Listen carefully and see if you can spot this pattern as we listen, right? Past, past progressive, past perfect. Let's do it. See if you can spot the pattern. So this happened about 2 or 3 years ago. I was trekking with a friend in the mountains in another country, and we had decided not to get a guide to help us. We just went on our own. Oh, did you see that? It happened 2 or 3 years ago. We were trekking in the mountains. We had decided not to get a guide. It's the same thing, right? I'll put it out. It happened 2 years ago. We were trekking. So I'm kind of setting the scene. So before, excuse me, before it began, we had decided not to get a guide. It's exactly the same pattern, right? Again, so really useful for setting the scene, beginning your stories of events, talking about events. And this is something you can practice. You can practice doing. It's not easy to just do it naturally, but you can practice doing it. Sometimes you may just use 2. You may just use the first 2. And that's fine, right? You've got it. Slobodan. What happened was trekking had decided. Yes, you've got it. This happened. I was trekking. Yes. Why do we use the past perfect? I think we can use past continuous again. You can use both. The past continuous emphasizes the time before the past time. So the trekking was in the past. Before the trekking began is like a double past. We had decided. Yeah. But you can use the simple past also. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yes, good. Okay. Very, very nice. I'm just going to take a moment to share some of your lovely examples up here. Nadja says, I live in Spain. I've lived in Malaga since 2009. I love this city. I used to work as an interim, but I'm currently unemployed. That is great. You see the sequence of tenses and you can be flexible, right? Mohammed, I play for Arsenal. Great. I played in the final at Wembley last season. I have been praying for Arsenal for 4 seasons now. Brilliant. Good luck, Arsenal, even though I'm from Manchester. Turley, I've studied English for several years, but I didn't have opportunities to practice. Oh, right. I thought yours was an example. It was don't worry. The opportunity to practice, you can practice on your own, but you can find other people to practice with. Yes. Zoe, is it possible to have a PDF? Yes, it is. I'm going to finish in a few moments and I will share a link for the PDF. Yes, yes. Zizawar says, I'm doing yoga. I learnt it last year. I have been practicing some postures and a controlling breath flow to relieve stress from work. Brilliant. Great. Very, very nice. Really helpful. I like the way the dots are connecting. Okay, great. Good. Now, we are coming to the end. It's an hour already. There are more pyramids. There are more grammar pyramids. I've talked about talking about you. I've mentioned talking about events. There's another one talking about buildings, which is great, but I'm not going to show you that because we're running out of time. You can download the PDF, and actually the PDF is the last 3 live sessions, right? If you remember, we've had 3 sessions and the PDF is going to give you all 3 of those. The sessions we've had, I don't even remember. We've had how to practice speaking, exam technique, and how to improve your answers. All 3 are in one PDF, so you can go and get that. I'm going to ask Burns to share the link. And do I have the link? Maybe I've got the link as well. Yes, Burns has put it there. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Burns. If you go to that link, the free PDF, basically you'll find this page. All you do, it gives you the 3 lessons: how to practice speaking, IELTS speaking technique, how to improve your answers. Just put in your email address, like mine over here, and it'll go through. Sometimes it jams, and I don't know why. But don't worry if it jams, it goes through. Yeah, click that and it'll come through and it'll explain. Check your email. So once you've put in your address, go to your email inbox and check for the PDF, right? It doesn't come straight away. Just go to your email and you'll get the PDF in there. Okay. The final thing I'd like to talk about is this. Do you remember at the start, I talked about improving quickly and forever? Improving quickly, actually, this idea today of remembering the language and starting to use it, study and practice, you can make very quick wins, right? You can start to improve quite quickly. But I want you to improve forever, long term, right? So remember, this is a push from me for you to remember and learn and start using more language. Really, that's how you improve your answers, is just use more language, more colorful. A note about how to learn. Rather than learning a list of adjectives or adverbs or idioms, I suggest you learn one by one in context. Learning in context is so important. I think lists are okay, but context is absolutely fabulous. It's much better, right? Now, you can do this on your own. When you're reading, when you're watching, when you're listening, making notes and practicing, you can absolutely do it on your own. You know, you've got YouTube, you've got Netflix. If you know how to study and you're happy on your own, you can do it. You can also do it through a course. You can study the units, you can make notes and practice. And I don't mean my course. I mean, you can take my course if you like, but any course that is out there. You can choose any course that you think is a good course. I think you can do it more quickly by choosing a course. I think when you study on your own, you take a lot of time looking for resources. You can probably do it more quickly on your own. Sorry, you can probably do it more quickly through a course. If you choose a course, and I do mean seriously, any course, not just my course, but any course out there, just make sure The content is relevant to your needs. It's easy to follow. You have opportunities for study and practice. To remember, we talked about study and practice. You need both of those to move up. That you trust the teacher. And very important, that you enjoy the method. Right? If you end up with a book or a course that is so boring, you're going to lose motivation. So find something that you enjoy the method, right? That's going to help you stay motivated. And I think, improving your answers, it's not just about quick fixes, it's about learning for life, for a better life. And I know a lot of you learn languages to study abroad, to migrate, in my case, to live in other countries and just to access TV, literature in other languages. It's a better life. So that's what all of this is about, really, at the end of the day. Good. Great. Wanna, I would like to speak English fluently. How can I improve my English speaking skills? I would download the PDF from today, review all the information in the PDF, go back to YouTube live in English Speaking Success, go back to these videos and watch them again. And then, most important, wanna study and practice. Study and practice. Okay? Elvira, I can see you're here. Lovely to see you here. If you are interested in my courses, I do have the main course I have is this one, the IELTS Speaking Gold Full. It's actually 3 courses in one. You can buy the individual courses, or you can get the full, which is all 3 in one. There's a self-study, basically 40 units, model answers part 1, 2, and 3. There's the interactive, which has the live lessons, speaking practice rooms, where you speak with other students around the world on the course. Every day you can practice speaking. There's the library of gold live lessons, 60 recent IELTS topics. And there's the exam strategies course, which is strategy videos, plus the Crack IELTS Speaking Part 2. If you're interested in any of these, just go to the website, the Keith Speaking Academy, right? It's up here, keithspeakingacademy.com. If you're interested on the online courses, you'll get all the information here. There are 3 courses, but if you want to get all of them, the full course is all of them together. You can go here. You'll get information about what is in the course. If you want to find out more about it, it just explains you get all 3, right? You get lifetime access to the self-study. You get lifetime access to the exam strategy, and you get 1 year access. It's like a 1-year membership to the interactive speaking practice rooms and so on. And then just click on the button. Where's the button? Click here. And that will take you to a page. You can pay by credit card or PayPal. Sometimes takes a session. Oh, I'm logged in. That's why it's gone there. But if I do, if I do it incognito, you can actually see how it works. Hopefully. Oh, no. It's not going to do it, is it? Let me try again. Yes. So if you click on the button, it then takes you to the payment page. As I mentioned, credit card or PayPal, both of those are okay. You just need to fill in your email address to register. And yes, you then get PayPal or by card. Okay. That's it. That's the information. Enough of my plug. A plug is a colloquial word, an informal word. A plug is an advertisement, a kind of advertisement. Okay, great. That's it for today, guys. We've seen a lot today. We've been through a lot. Let me tell you our next live lesson, our next live session on YouTube and Facebook is going to be Tuesday, 4th of February at 2 p.m. And I'm going to look at how to develop ideas for IELTS Speaking Part 2. If you've got any questions, you can contact us at the address here at Keith Speaking Academy. Yes, and that's the next session. It's interesting, Renata, you said, I'm 70 years old. I won't take exams, but I'm happy for your lessons. That's great. We actually have a lot of students on the course who are not IELTS students. They're not doing the exam, but they're just improving their spoken English. And that, at the end of the day, is what it's all about. It's just improving your spoken English for whatever your goal happens to be. Excellent. Good. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Elvira, lovely to see you again, as always. Faziev as well, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you hopefully in February. Go and download the PDF if you want to review the lesson. And let me leave you with another song. Let's do the Watchful Eyes song, one of my favourite songs. Great. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye, Christine. Roblox. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Where are you from? London? Great. Study and practice, Leonora. Good to see you, Iwana. And you too, Daniela. Cheers, Sarah. It's Friday. You too. Brilliant. Pleased to hear that, Nadja. This is the song from Watchful Eyes inside the Gold Course. We have songs and novels as well. Sí, claro que sí. A ti. Great, guys, don't give up. Keep going, keep studying, and I'll see you in February. All the best now. Bye-bye.